Yo, you have got to check out today's show. It's going to be amazing and amazingly funny. We have got a super funny guy coming on today, a very special guest. He's considered by some controversial, not by me. I love his shit. He is easily one of the best comedians out there today, in my opinion, and definitely one of my favorites. Our guest today is Nick DiPaolo. Outstanding. I'm so happy. Really. So Nick started comedy in 1987. He's been on the scene since. He was the host of True TV Presents World's Dumbest. He's been on many, many TV shows. He's been on Grace Under Fire. He's been in the Sopranos, News Radio, the Chris Rock Show. Oh, God, I don't know. There's so many more. He's got a new special out. You've got to check it out. I saw it and I laughed so hard I nearly pissed myself. You can find that on his YouTube channel. His special is called A Breath of Fresh Air. And if you just type in Nick Dip in YouTube, you're going to find it. It's going to pop right up. He also has a webpage you can find him at if you're wanting him for shows, and that's at nickdip.com. All right. Well, without further ado, let's kick this pig and get it started.
You're listening to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast where nothing, well, almost nothing, is too taboo to discuss. On Nothing's Off the Table, we give anyone and everyone a say. We may not agree with or even like the topic, but we're happy to give you a voice, listen to your perspective, and maybe even offer our own. Nothing's Off the Table is a MadSiss Productions podcast. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and on iTunes. Also, be sure to check out our sponsor, Locust Ridge, LLC.
Nick DiPaolo, ladies and gentlemen.
Andy Barker, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. That's
active military. Navy, Andy?
Navy.
Navy. Let me ask you a question, even though you're interviewing me. What do you think of McCain?
Oh, boy. McCain. Well, let's see. How politically correct do I want to be? Not at all. So I may get in trouble for this, but you know what? What are they going to do? I got 29 and a half years in. They're going to kick me out at this point.
It's not going to bother you.
Yeah, exactly. Shave my head, send me to sea. McCain was, well, he certainly wasn't a Republican. Maybe in name only, but you know, I did a lot of reading on this guy, and he was a troublemaker from day one in this time of service. Now, don't get me wrong, I really appreciate the fact that he was a POW for 5 years, right? And the fact that he survived that speaks volumes.
Right. How tough he is.
Yeah, definitely. But you know, he got to where he was at largely because of his daddy and his daddy's daddy, because they were both admirals. So that goes a long way.
And he finished like last in his class, a second to last.
Yeah, well, you know what they call the guy that finishes last in medical school, right?
Yeah, a fucking
doctor.
Well, I was trying to think of the guys that work on cadavers. It's like a good comedian, I couldn't find the word.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a great point. You're still a doctor.
That's right. You know, I've worked with a lot of doctors, and proof positive, you don't have to be smart to be a doctor. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm glad that you are. I'm glad that you're smoking there, or whatever.
It's one of those what they call jewels. And I'm kind of being a hypocrite because of my special, Breath of Fresh Air, which is at nickdip.com. It's up to 420,000 views in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I make a joke about it. I was trying to quit cigarettes, and my buddy said, "Why don't you try an e-cigarette?" And I said, "Because I'd look more manly with a cock in my mouth." And here I am with a cock in my mouth. Cigarette with steam coming off it. Got any broccoli or carrot you want me to do while I get this thing out?
Well, how about some cauliflower? Isn't that the new...
it's a racist vegetable, cauliflower. That's what somebody said. AOC, as somebody called it. I didn't even read the... I was so dumbfounded by the headline, I just fucking didn't even read the article.
Well, what are you going to do, you know? You know, I have to adjust this. Give me 1 second. I got to adjust this screen here that I'm trying to record. But, you know, I'm new at this game, but you know, that reminds me. You talking about having a cock in your mouth. I had this kid that used to.
That reminds me.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Reminds me. I met Barney Frank a few years ago when he came to visit the Navy.
Well, you know, I am a sailor. What can I say? You know, thanks to the village people, they ruined it all for us.
They really did. I used to be an Indian like Elizabeth Warren.
Anyway, I had this kid that worked for me, and he was as gullible as the day is long. And I told him, I won't mention his name on here, but I told him, I said, you know what? I think you're a potential fag. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you know, I'm not saying you are or you're not. I'm just saying the potential's there. No, that's not right. I said, well, how do you know, buddy? I said, you ever suck a dick? He's like, well, no, I never have. I said, well, so you're a potential fag. You could suck one, and that could be the best thing you ever had going for you.
Well, if that's a definition, we're all potential fags, Andy.
Well, hold on. Bear with me for a second. So this goes on for a little bit. You know, I asked him, do you like asparagus? No. I said, how do you know? He said, well, I've had it, and I didn't like it. I said, all right. He goes, well, I think you're a potential fag. I said, no, I'm definitely not a potential fag. He goes, well, how do you know? You ever suck a dick? I said, yeah, once. I didn't like it. So,
I didn't like it. It tastes like asparagus.
Yeah. Made my pee.
Joke, Andy. I just gave you a joke.
Yeah.
Stage somewhere.
Yeah, you get full credit. Anyway, since you brought up your show, your last show that you just did, I watched it, and I about pissed myself laughing too hard.
Might be a potential fag.
Well, you know. It's I'm telling you,
breath of fresh air. Yeah, the special breath of fresh air what made me proud is guys like Jim Gaffigan. I mean, he's a guy's a legend. Jim Gaffigan came out on Twitter and said how much he liked it. Brian Regan, who's as funny as they come, said how much he liked it. I got a text from Billy Burr saying this is actually good for comedy, for stand-up comedy, because it's turned into this PC nightmare. And Norm Macdonald, even before the special came out, saw me on the Dave Rubin Report and said I'm a legend. So when haters are on Twitter or Facebook are giving me shit, I go, yeah, okay, you, a guy living in fucking Ohio with 11 followers, think I'm a bad comic, but Norm Macdonald called me a legend, so... Go back to fucking cleaning your lawnmower, whatever you're doing.
Anyway,
I'm happy with it. I strike out. I defend. I'm defending white males. God forbid, older white males. Something that Netflix and Comedy Central would never stand for. And I threw it out there for nothing. I put it out there to the public for nothing, which was my plan years ago. Because people are going, yeah, they didn't want to buy it. No, they didn't want to buy it because it's too dangerous. I'm not their cup of tea.
Right.
And I decided that after a couple of years ago, after my other special. I said, the next one's going out there for exposure. So, and it worked. I mean, we're at 420,000 views in like less than 3 weeks. So, you know, I'm very proud of it, actually.
Well, you know, you should be, because it, like I said, I damn near pissed myself laughing watching it. I think I told your producer yesterday that my buddy Chad really, really wanted to be on here. He's my co-host, and of course he's active duty as well.
Oh.
And he had a last minute meeting pop up that he couldn't get away from, but I pimped the hell out of it on the intro that I did for you, and I just had to say the controversy that came up with that about the fucking
picture.
Yeah, the picture. It's like
I took a stock photo. I wanted to find angry people, you know, social justice warriors that had an angry look on their face that would hate my act. So I went online and I there's some stock photos. So I just grabbed a stock photo of this guy who turned out to be a Black Lives Matter guy, who ended up, he got killed by another black guy in New Orleans in a robbery or something. I had no idea. And then some woman, came out, oh, you're a coward for putting a picture of a black, all this horse shit. And I had to straighten her out. And I did something I never do. I apologized. And the reason I apologized was for the black guy's family. That's why. It wasn't my intent to do that. if I intended to, I'll put this in, I wouldn't apologize to anybody because it would be my intentions. I don't know, but I didn't intend to do that. And I thought about his brothers and sisters, whoever.
Sure.
So I apologized. Then I started catching flack from some of my fans. Why would you fucking apologize?
Yeah.
And, I hated everything that guy stood for. He was a cop hater, a Black Lives Matter, which is a phony terrorist organization founded on a myth. If you remember Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. A total fucking myth. And that's the story. I garnered publicity that I wasn't looking for. But any publicity is good when you're promoting a new special.
That's right.
So it actually had a positive effect, but my intention was not to be giving the bird to a guy who was killed.
Right. Well, of course I remember Michael Brown. I live in St. Louis. So,
there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, I just thought...
He mugged you.
Yeah. Well, I was actually in Japan when that shit happened. But anyway, I do have a lot of friends that are on the police force during that whole shit. And there's just a mess from the word jump.
Yeah. Well, we had Eric Holder, who, remember? He got involved before anybody knew, or before anybody knew the truth of the whole story. Eric Holder got involved and jumped in feet first because he's another whitey hater. And,
So, in my intro, I'll send you a link to all this shit too. But in my intro for you, I was like, I said that you were controversial to some,
right?
Not to me, but
right.
Otherwise, I would have never reached out to you. But yeah, it's not, to me. It's not really controversy. It's just somebody that they don't like what you wanna or what you're saying. So
that's right. I'm controversial to. There's two types of people to me in this world or in this country right now. There's people who are honest and for the truth, and then there are people who are politically correct.
Yeah.
Who don't want their feelings hurt, and they'll hide the truth to protect themselves and their feelings. They literally think it's in the Bill of Rights not to be offended, and which is so stupid. It's the opposite of what this country was founded on. Freedom of speech. And the sad part is there's comedians now, young millennial type people who are actually for censorship. So we call those hacks. They don't know they literally don't know what they're doing for a living. I mean, one of the reasons you should become a stand-up comic is that you can say shit that people can't say if they had a 9-to-5 job. It's
right.
Our duty, our obligation to talk about shit that people would love to say, but can't. But we can if you make it funny. It has to be funny first, Of course. So the haters roll off my back. I don't even. I stay off it because I stay off Twitter because it'll get you nuts if you start reading it. But yeah, so I'm not that controversial. I'm not wholly political. Like Colin Quinn, I've used this quote a million times. Colin, who's got a great special out. It's going to be on Netflix. Red State, Blue State. He said this quote of me like 15 years ago. I said, Colin, I'm not really a political comic. I'm not a conservative. They keep labeling me conservative. He said, no, but Nick, you could be telling a joke about McDonald's and people can tell how you voted. Which is the most concise description of what I do on stage.
Well, he's kind of got a point.
Yeah. No, he's right on the money.
Which brings me to my one question that I did want to ask you, and that was about your love affair for Hillary. I could see it in your eyes every time you talk about her.
Well, I mean, she's attractive on all levels to me. I mean, first her fucking 38-inch ankles. I love a woman who has forearms like the skipper from Gilligan's Island and has and just fucking dresses like Mao Zedong and she's just and then she opens her mouth and she's so bright and so attractive. Doesn't play that victim game at all.
No.
We're kindred spirits.
You know what does it for me is I really love a woman that flip-flops as much as she does,
Have you ever seen anybody flip-flop more than her? Huh? It's like watching a baby seal that was just clubbed over the head. Just flipping and flopping and just... I lost because of sexism. I lost because the country is racist. I lost because white men tell their wives how to vote. You lost because you're a yeast infection on wheels, you dumb fucking power-hungry shill. Used to be liberal. Now she's a corporate shill she's as dishonest as the libs try to say Trump is, to the 10th power. She's disgusting on all levels. That being said, I'd like to take her out to Burger King and watch her fucking swallow three Whoppers.
Is this a bad time to say this is a family show?
Is it a family show?
Fuck no.
I didn't. Yeah, it is, Andy. Family show. What kind of fucking guy in the Navy does a family show?
Yeah, well, the politically
family
correct
members,
kind.
block your fucking ears.
Yeah, that's right. I told my kids, go upstairs. Daddy's doing a podcast.
Yeah, you can edit it. You can bleep it.
I'm not
It'll be
bleeping.
like silent film by the time I'm done.
I'm not bleeping shit. It was.
There you go. I tried bleeping shit once.
It was a bad attempt at humor. That's why I leave it to you. So, can you tell me, in your opinion, what's all the hate for Trump going on? I mean, I have my ideas, but
I have an idea that nobody ever says, and I think I nailed it before he got elected. I'll tell you what the hate is in the derangement, and nobody ever brings this up because you can't bring it up on even Fox News. He's a white, heterosexual, alpha, blonde-haired, blue-eyed billionaire who believes in God. That's why they hate him. He is the devil incarnate to people on the left. You understand? If he was black and had these views, he wouldn't be as hated as much. You know, he'd be hated, but he's what they see him as, like a metaphor for the problem. Old rich white guy. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's an alpha male, and most of these pinheads on the left used to get shoved into their lockers in high school, and they can't let that shit go. That's why they hate him. That's why they hate him. But you can't bring that up. I remember being on Sean Hannity's show once and made one of my best jokes ever, thinking Hannity would find it funny. It was the perfect joke because people on the left thought it was great, and people on the right thought it was great. They didn't know what I meant. When Obama... When all that financial business was going on, and they said, "How come Obama had so much pork in the what bill was it?" He was trying to. I said he's trying to prove he's not. What was it? Remember, Andy?
That was the Affordable Care Act, or the
not that
one.
This had to do with financial. I forget the bill, but people complaining because there was so much pork in it, and I said he's just trying to prove he's not a Muslim. Which is a fucking great joke, and Hannity goes white on me, like I just punched a baby in the face on his show. It is one of the best lines I've ever come up with, and people on the left thought I was defending Obama, you know, and people on the right thought I was, you know, it was right down the middle.
Holy shit!
You know? And yeah, and there's Hannity going, well, anyway, let's go to Diane. What do you think? He couldn't get the camera off me quick enough.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, one of my better ones.
God damn.
That's the problem, though. Guys like that, and I love Sean. I know Sean. The Mark Levinza, the Ben Shapiro's of the world. I need their people. And, I need their people. But they, and they're out there saying they're for freedom of speech. Mm-hmm. They should be having me on their show right now. In all honesty, about this special, because we always hear there's no funny people who lean right. Well, I've been doing this 32 years and been nominated. I'm blowing smoke up my own ass here. I understand, but you have to because showbiz is all left. They're not going to do it. Mm-hmm. But I need the Levins of the world and the Sean Hannitys of the world to say, hey, let's talk about this special, even if some of it's too outrageous. But I get treated like I'm toxic a lot of the times. Although I am doing Glenn Beck's show at the end of June.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I think Glenn was a stand-up actually at one point.
I know he did radio. He did
radio, and I think he did some stand-up.
Huh. Interesting. Well, probably a good thing he did the radio.
Yeah.
Anyway, so God damn. What about how now? You started comedy what, 87-ish?
Yeah. 87-ish. Exactly.
So, how did you go from doing the stand up into? Because it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure you will. A lot of you're like more into the political spectrum now.
Well, you evolve when you're an artist. You evolve. You start off. You want to get exposure at the beginning of your career like anybody else, so you have clean TV-type family material. Mm-hmm. so you can get on the Lettermans and the Tonight Shows, but then you have to evolve. You're supposed to talk about what's going on in your life, what you feel strongly for. I don't have kids, so I live an empty life. I'm like a chocolate Easter bunny. I'm hollow inside, and all I do is watch sports and news. And but this what's going on in this country transcends politics. When people start trying to shut down other people because of their points of view and shit, you know what I mean? And when I saw the reaction to Trump's election, I said, I'm going to jump in feet first. I've always leaned right. It's not even about Trump. It's about freedom of speech,
right,
and being funny. And I get so discouraged when I hear there's some comics who actually, that's over the line. You're like, do you know what you do for a living, dude? So, I'm not wholly political. Like, if you come out to see my stand-up, there's other stuff in it. I just moved to Georgia, a month ago, and
really?
And I my first 8 to 10 minutes is going to be about living in Georgia and stuff. But it's cultural because I'm like my cousin Vinny, that movie, Italian from the Northeast living down south. And so I have that whole angle. And when they call me Yankee, it really pisses me off on two levels because I'm from Boston and I hate the fucking Yankees.
Oh, wait a minute.
And number two, they're calling me a Yankee.
Oh, hold on here a second.
You can call me General Sherman. Don't call me Derek Jeter. That's all I'm fucking asking.
Wait, so are you a Bruins fan?
Oh, my God, am I a Bruin? Since I was 5 years old, I met Bobby Orr at a mall in my hometown.
Well, thanks for your time, Nick, and we got to go. No, I'm just kidding.
I forgot you just said you're a St. Louis guy. Andy, we should make a bet.
No, I don't bet, man. I'm married, and I make the money.
I was a Blues fan.
Yeah, oh, here we go. I knew there'd be some shit talking. I'm just surprised it took this long to come out, to be perfectly honest.
I'm happy the Blues. The last time the Bruins and the Blues played in the finals, I was 8 years old. It was a Mother's Day when Bobby Orr, that famous picture. Mm-hmm. And but I'm a hockey fan. I remember the Plager brothers. Mm-hmm. I remember I've been a hockey fan for a long time. Sorry, and the Blues. It's unbelievable what they did this year. They were in last place in the whole league on January 3rd.
Yeah.
So it's so good that they're in the finals. It's too bad we're going to kick the shit out of you.
Well, we'll see.
I know, we shall see. I'm just going based on what we did to the Cardinals in the World Series last night.
Oh, here we fucking go. Let me tell you what.
And the Rams, by the way.
Well, I don't claim the Rams. Fuck the Rams. The fags left, and they can suck a fat baby's dick as far as I'm concerned. But I have a good friend of mine that is from Boston as well. And, we choose not to talk right now.
Yeah.
Because he's a big shit talker as much as I am. But
yeah. No, it's going to be good. It's good. I mean, the hitting is fierce, and I love hockey. And it's good that the Blues are in the finals. I mean that. They've been in the league forever. Yeah. And I liked them as a kid. I liked the Blues. So.
Mm-hmm. It's been almost 50 years. So
yeah.
It's about damn time. Even if we don't win the cup, I'm good. We made it this far. But anyway,
on to second place. Maybe that's your problem.
Well, look at the time. Oh shit! I gotta go get another colonoscopy here. It's probably more entertaining at this point.
You had that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You had the colonoscopy last week, right?
Last week, last Wednesday.
Is that why you're still spitting blood into a bottle? The guy went too far with the fucking pipe. You're supposed to have one. You're supposed to have one every 10 years, but I really like them. I've had 3 this month. Talk about a potential fag.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I mean, do you do it for fun or for medical reasons?
So what was the results? What did they find in your pipe?
Well, they didn't find any shit because Lord knows the night before I shit it all out. But
oh my God, isn't that fun? The night before.
Couple polyps,
Did they find a couple polyps?
Yeah, a gerbil or two.
Okay.
A light bulb.
So you're a combination of Richard Gere and Ronald Reagan and Thomas Edison.
Listen, nobody.
Bulb in his asshole.
So I got to tell you.
Andy Barker, they found, was it LED or was it?
Oh no! It was one of those long ass. What do you call it?
Fluorescent light.
Yeah, the fluorescent light bulbs. Sideways. But
that's gross.
Yes, stop it. Apparently, I embarrassed my wife. I was, coming out of the anesthesia, and I was talking a bunch of shit, and I put a post up on Instagram saying that they had to go back in and redo the procedure because they had to get a bigger tube. Apparently, the doctor said it was like throwing a hot dog down the hallway, but that's what 30 years in the Navy will get you.
30 minutes in a bathhouse in San Francisco.
30 minutes, holy shit! I give my wife the best.
I work fast when I'm working on the ass.
I was gonna say I give my wife the best 30 seconds of her life.
Sure. Yeah, they said my asshole is pinker than fucking Hillary's gums, and I said, "Well, that's good."
And hairier than her twat.
Oh God, please.
There's an image for you.
Yeah.
But
every time I see a roadkill on the side of the road, like you see a raccoon run over and its belly splayed open, I think of Hillary's giant shrubbery.
That's delicious. Good thing I got lunch coming up. Anyway.
I got about 2 more minutes. I have to call a radio station.
Okay, all right. I want your views on medical marijuana.
Medical marijuana. I think that medical marijuana. I think it's good for people with glaucoma and people who love Cheetos. Other than that, it's fucking a bunch of bullshit. They're using that medical. Everybody gets a note from their doctor now. Oh, I have migraines. Okay, here's a fucking joint. I honestly, I think weed. I've been evolving on this. It makes people stupid. There's no doubt about it. Because it does. It makes you dumb. I know a kid I went to high school with was smoking in 7th grade every day. And by the time we graduated, he couldn't even form a sentence. Seriously, it takes away your ambition. But if you got cancer and it relieves the pain, okay, I'll give you a pass there. But don't come in, like I said, people are using, every time they get a scrape or a bruise, they want to light up a joint. So what's your take on it, being in the Navy?
Well, obviously being in the Navy, it's a no-go. They piss test us all the time for it. But I'm actually an ER nurse. I've seen a lot of good things come out of it. Yeah, no sponge baths. I saw that look. But for seizures, for Parkinson's, I've seen it where it really reduces the tremors, and it reduces the amount of seizures, the length of them.
Somebody should send a bag to Michael J. Fox. Yeah. This guy's like he's on a mechanical bull 24 hours a day. He's still getting TV work. I mean, I'm sitting here perfectly still. I'm like Stephen Hawking, and I can't get a good job. And
God damn.
Okay, Michael J. Fox looks like my wife's vibrator when she dropped it on the floor, and it just bounces across the rug for 20 minutes on its own. But,
holy shit. Anyway, no, but I agree with you on the, hey, I got a headache. Let me go get a medical marijuana card. But I don't know. I say regulate it, tax the fuck out of it, and
yes, I'm with that.
Yeah, why not?
We could wipe out the debt, but 3 guys I know we could wipe the fucking national debt out on a weekend.
Oh shit!
When I was in college, I roamed with he was a white kid. He was a captain of the basketball team, University of Maine. His best friend was the other captain. I think they were co-captains. Clay Gunn. He was a 6'8" black guy, and they would smoke joints like they were cigarettes. Now, my freshman year, he was my roommate, and this is true. I don't even know the guy a week. First day of classes, I'm sleeping. They had bunk beds. I wake up and I start coughing, and I look through a cloud of fucking smoke, and I see the big black guy and my roommate blowing weed smoke in my face. and I loved them for it. Like that, bonded us. They were laughing like, you gotta go to class now. And I was high as a fucking kite. So I can't handle that stuff, Andy. I can't handle weed. I ate some edible, 1/8 of an edible, like a tiny piece a couple of years ago. And it was like I was doing acid. I lost my shit. I can't handle it. I can handle alcohol, and I'll do heroin on Thanksgiving with my parents. But after that, Jesus H. Christ.
I wouldn't know. I've never smoked this shit. I mean, I joined the Navy when I was 18, so, yeah.
You guys are big boozers in the Navy.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
I love the official Washington talk. I don't recall. I got to run. I got to make a radio call.
All right, brother. Hey, thanks so much.
Andy, I enjoyed it, man, and stay in touch. And again, and I'm dead serious. Thank you and the guys and women like you that put it on the line for us. That's why I did this, and the guy and the people in between.
Yeah, I got a story for you on that, but some other time.
Tell people to go to nickdip.com. I have the show Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. in the morning. You can watch it on YouTube or at my website, nickdip.com. It's free on Mondays to everybody, and you can subscribe if you like it enough, which people are. So please do that and watch my special, Breath of Fresh Air, and I thank you, my friend.
You got it, brother. Thank you very much.
We'll see you soon.
All right, take care. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick DiPaolo, thank you so much for being on the show. We super appreciate it. And be sure to check out his new special on his YouTube channel, Breath of Fresh Air. It's hilarious. And we can't thank you enough for being on. And I really hope you enjoyed this show. And we look forward to bringing you some more in the future. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care. And until next time, peace.
You've been listening to Nothing's Off the Table, the podcast where no subject is too taboo to discuss. Find us on iTunes, Facebook, and on Instagram. Be sure to check out our sponsors, Locust Ridge LLC. Nothing's Off the Table is a MadSiss Productions podcast.